So Marvel Studios recently just announced some release dates for some of their upcoming movies. Of course, we don't really know what these movies are actually going to be, but we can definitely speculate on all of these release dates, and I'm going to be going through my list of the movies that I actually think are going to be coming out in the near future for the MCU and Phase 4 going forward. So if you guys want to hear my list and what I think is going to come out, definitely make sure you guys stay tuned. How's it going, Webheads? My name is Ryan Walsh, and if you guys like the Marvel Cinematic Universe and all the Avengers stuff and all Marvel, all that kind of stuff, definitely consider subscribing below so you guys get plenty of videos on that. Also, make sure you guys definitely turn on that notification bell so you guys get kept up to date with all my latest uploads. Make sure you guys definitely smash the like button if you guys like this video. And of course, comment below your thoughts. What movies do you think are going to be coming out on these release dates, and what movies do you think are actually going to be coming out in Phase 4? Let me know down in the comments. I want to hear all of your opinions about this. But with all that out of the way, let's get in the video, Webheads. So of course, for Phase 4, Kevin Feige and all Marvel Studios basically came out and put down a bunch of release dates that they have flagged for their movies. So basically, they confirmed all the way up to the year 2022 on what they're actually going to be doing. So for right now, I'm going to name off basically what they have confirmed already, which is basically in 2019. Right after Avengers 4, they have a July 5th, 2019 date for Spider-Man Homecoming 2. Now, before we really get in this list, I'm almost positive that actually the Sony movies and the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, even though I know the Spider-Man movies are connected with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, basically just Spider-Man Homecoming for right now, but we don't really know anything about all those other Sony movies, except I'm pretty sure that the Spider-Man Homecoming movies are actually going to be separate from all these release dates, so we're not going to be really counting on those because obviously in Phase 4 they're probably going to have a Spider-Man 3 because Tom Holland already confirmed that he was going to have 2 sequels after Spider-Man Homecoming, basically 2 other Spider-Man sequels. So I definitely can say that we're probably going to see Spider-Man Homecoming 3 within Phase 4 somewhere, but I don't think that's going to be one of these dates that were actually announced. Also, with the Fox and Marvel deal, I don't think we can really include anything of the Fantastic Four, the X-Men as well, because that has not been included yet because the deal has not gone through yet completely. The government is still looking through it, making sure all the antitrust laws are all good so that this deal can actually pass. So I think with this list of dates and all the movies that basically Marvel is thinking about putting out on these dates, I think that basically it's not going to include anything Spider-Man and anything X-Men or Fantastic Four. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there just before we go through my personal list and what I think these movies are actually going to be. But let me name off the other dates that they basically have. It's all the way from 2020 all the way to 2022. There's 3 movies a year, but starting off with 2020, May 1st, July 31st, and November 6th. For 2021, they have May 7th, July 30th, and November 5th. And for the last year, 2022, they have February 18th, May 6th, and July 29th. So basically that's all the release dates that they flagged for their movies, but of course we do not know what the movies are going to be, so I'm going to put in my personal list. So let's really get into the speculation. I'm excited to talk about all this stuff. So, for May 1st, 2020, I personally think that we're going to be getting Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. James Gunn already confirmed that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 are going to be coming out in 2020 in Phase 4, and I'm personally thinking that May 1st is going to be the date because the last Guardians of the Galaxy movie came out at the beginning of May, and I personally think that that would make the most sense because the first one came out in August, and there's no August date in 2020 for Marvel that they've confirmed so far, so I'm thinking that May 1st makes the most sense for that movie. Now going on to July 31st, I personally think that they're going to finally give this standalone movie to a certain character, and I personally think that's going to be Black Widow. I think we're going to be getting a Black Widow movie on July 31st of 2020. I think that they've been talking about the Black Widow movie very recently, and I think they really want to give Scarlett Johansson her own standalone movie because that character deserves it more than any other character in the MCU, in my opinion. She has paid her dues. She's been Black Widow since 2010. It's been 8 years. I think they need to do a kind of prequel story basically telling her origins, and I think that'd be really cool to do. So I think that's going to actually happen very soon, and I think it's going to happen July 31st, 2020. Now going on to November 6th, 2020, obviously in November 2017 they had a very successful movie that came out on that date, and that was Doctor Strange. So I think this is going to be the Doctor Strange 2 release date. Yes, I think they're going to actually do another Doctor Strange movie, especially with that end credit scene showing Baron Mordo basically turning evil, and I think he's going to be the villain of the movie. So those are the 3 movies that I think are going to actually happen in 2020. Now moving on to 2021, I think May 7th they're going to try to open up with a brand new character. I think they want to do a brand new character, and I think that new character is actually going to be Nova. I think we're going to be getting a Richard Rider Nova movie in 2020, kind of expanding on that cosmic cinematic universe that the Guardians have already kind of explored to, and Infinity War and Avengers 4 will explore to. I think that's the next movie that we're going to be getting as well. And personally, that's something that I really want to see because I've always wanted a Nova movie. I think he'd be a great character to do. He would have a great origin, and it would definitely put more emphasis on the Nova Corps and kind of give them a bigger role in the MCU than just what they had in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I want to see a little bit more of the Nova Corps, and especially probably like their elite task force where, like, say Richard Rider's Nova has his own superpowers and he basically is like the ultimate space cop Nova. That's what I really want to see. And on July 30th, 2021, I personally think that we're going to be getting a Black Panther 2 movie. Obviously, Marvel has had a lot of success with Black Panther, especially with how much money it's making already in the box office. I kind of went back and forth on this. I kind of thought maybe it was on July 30th, 2021, or maybe it was going to be staying in that February slot of 2022, but I kind of stuck it in July 30th of 2021 because I personally think that it's going to have like probably 2 or 3 years to breathe, and then he can actually come back in his own solo movie, his own sequel, so that they can actually expand on Wakanda and do a little bit more with that character, because obviously they're going to make a Black Panther 2 because the first one was so successful, and obviously everybody loves that character. So I'm thinking that that's going to be when we go back to Wakanda and we actually see a little bit more of the Black Panther. On November 5th, I think that we're actually going to be getting a brand new character as well. Obviously, Marvel likes to introduce brand new characters all the time, and I think that we're actually finally going to be getting a Namor movie. And the reason why I think this is actually going to happen is because Aquaman is coming out. Aquaman will definitely prove, I think, in December of this year that an Atlantis movie, an underwater superhero movie, actually can work. And I personally think that Marvel is going to want to jump right on that bandwagon and actually do it. Especially when you look at some Disneyland rides that actually have already been seeding Namor actually coming out. Especially if you look at that Guardians of the Galaxy Disneyland ride, they basically have an Easter egg to Atlantis and Namor the Submariner in that ride. So I'm thinking that if they're already seeding that kind of stuff and they kind of see when Aquaman comes out and how people actually like that movie, because I personally think that it's going to be a very successful movie, I think that they're going to want to jump on that bandwagon and they're going to want to do a Namor movie. So I think this is definitely possible. I know that the rights are basically owned by Universal, I'm pretty sure, for the movie rights, but I think that Marvel can definitely cut a deal with them to make a Namor movie. And that's just my opinion on it. So I think that they're actually going to have a Namor movie, and that's going to be one of the newest characters introduced in the MCU. And that rounds out 2021. Now on to 2022. And the first movie that I have for 2022 is actually a Captain Marvel 2. So obviously Captain Marvel has not come out yet, and I personally think that Captain Marvel actually is going to do very well, especially with the success of Wonder Woman. Now everybody's really into the female-led superhero movies. I think that Captain Marvel is going to do really well, and I think it's going to be one of the coolest movies to actually come out of the MCU. So I think that movie is actually going to do very well, and I think that they're going to have a sequel to it, especially up to modern times when she comes in modern times in Avengers 4. And I think she's going to make a big impact in Avengers 4 and kind of take over that leader role of the team, kind of with T'Challa. I think like T'Challa and I think Captain Marvel are going to be taking over those leader roles, kind of like Captain America and Iron Man. I think both of those characters are going to be taking over the leader roles of the Avengers, and then I think that they're still going to have their solo movies, but then at the same time they're going to be huge characters when they come back, and they're in Avengers 5. And speaking of Avengers 5, that's the next movie I have on my list. May 6th, 2022, I think we're going to be getting Avengers 5. This is going to be a completely new roster of heroes on the Avengers team. I already basically explained what characters I think are going to be in the new Avengers, and that's what I'm calling it right now, kind of the new Avengers, but I already explained my list of characters that are going to be on that. You can definitely check out this video right here to get my list of Avengers that I think will be in Avengers 5. But I think it makes sense to put an Avengers movie at the end of Phase 4, especially because Avengers movies are always at the end of each phase. They're not always the last movie, but they're always always towards the end, kind of building up to the next phase. So that's personally what I think is actually going to happen. And then on the last date, I think Marvel is going to be doing something completely different. Something like Guardians of the Galaxy when that was announced, something totally out there. And on July 29th, I think they're going to actually have an Eternals movie. Now, the Eternals are directly connected with Thanos, and I think they're actually going to get addressed in Avengers Infinity War and Avengers 4, and definitely some of the cosmic stuff, because obviously James Gunn and Marvel Studios have really emphasized that in Phase 4 they're really going to be doing a lot more in the cosmic universe in Marvel. So I personally think that the Eternals is a perfect fit for that cosmic realm of that Marvel really wants to go to and kind of explore, because obviously people love space movies right now, and I'm thinking that the Eternals will definitely be one of those space movies that everybody loves. And say they don't do an Eternals movie, I think with Adam Warlock getting introduced in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I think an Adam Warlock movie is just as possible for this date. I went back and forth on both of those, but I think when Marvel said that they were going to do it in Humans at the end of Phase 3, but of course they had to can it because the TV show in Humans came out and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was doing a bunch of stuff with them. I think they want more than just one character in space. I think they want a new team of characters in space, and I think that's actually going to be the Eternals instead of say the Inhumans or anything like that. So that's what I personally think. But once again, I think we're going to be getting a Spider-Man Homecoming 3, a bunch of Spider-Verse movies, especially with like Silver and Black kind of being announced, maybe a Kraven the Hunter movie. I think we're going to be getting stuff like that. And then when the Fox and Disney deal actually go through, I think we're going to be getting, say, a Fantastic Four movie, probably an X-Men reboot, some more Deadpool movies, maybe an X-Force movie or something like that. But guys, that's basically my list of the movies that I think are actually going to happen in Phase 4. What do you guys think of this list? And make sure you guys definitely tell me down in the comments what movies you guys want to see show up in Phase 4. Let me know down in the comments below. I want to hear all of your opinions about this. But guys, make sure you guys definitely smash that like button if you guys like this video. Of course, definitely consider subscribing if you guys are into the MCU and you guys want to know more about Phase 4 going forward. Definitely turn on that notification bell so you guys can keep up to date with all my latest uploads. But guys, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Bye-bye. Alright, Webheads, if you guys like this video and you guys want to see more, make sure you guys definitely subscribe right over here to Webhead so you guys get more on the MCU in Phase 4 going forward. Also, make sure you guys definitely check out my social media links in the description below so you guys can follow me on various social media networks and check out the 2 videos below me. I think you guys would really, really enjoy. But thank you guys very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Bye-bye.